not interested.
Hey guys, Peter Franson here from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions, talking about my reactions to E3. This time I'm going to talk about Microsoft's press conference. First though, if you'll be patient with me for just a moment, I need to do some housekeeping. I forgot to tell you to report on which of my jaded predictions and unrealistic wishes about the EA Play event came true and didn't come true. Let me go through those really quick. The first jaded prediction was that the memories of Kotaku's expose about the troubled development of Anthem would keep me from hoping that Jedi Fallen Order will end up as a product that interests me. And that really wasn't the case. In fact, I also said details will be too vague to get a sense of what the normal gameplay will be like, making me wonder if, like Anthem, the devs don't quite know what kind of game it will be either. And no, I really felt like I got a sense of the gameplay, and that it probably won't be the type of game for me, but the jury's still out. I just want more information. So that didn't come true. My first wish was that trading out a press conference for live streams featuring developer commentary and insight would help me care about at least one EA game, and that came true. I care about Jedi Fallen Order. I'm interested to see what will happen there. And then my next wish was that Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning would get an announcement for a PS4 remaster. No, didn't come true. And finally, that we would see something substantial from Dragon Age 4. That did not come true. Okay, so now Microsoft. Wow, my gosh, that was like that was like stimulus overload. They showed 60 games, some of that through some really quick sizzle reel type stuff, but man, even apart from that, there was a ton of games that they were showing, and I almost think they might have overdone it. Like, I'm thinking to myself, man, I would have preferred to get a deeper dive on a few of those, but you know, they know the business far better than I do, so hopefully it works out for them. I'm just going to go through what were the highlights for me. I might rattle off some titles really quick that I'm not going to talk about, but I am not an Xbox fan in particular. I have many great memories using my Xbox 360, but that hardware, man, it just was not reliable for me at all, and so I've been a PS4 user and really have been against the idea of ever buying a 360, any kind of Xbox hardware ever again. But Xbox has slowly been making me wonder if I might at some point get one of their consoles in the future on a discount or something. So, and yeah, there's definitely some things that piqued my interest. The first one was Outer Worlds. This one was from Obsidian, who's the developer of Pillars of Eternity, and they're making this Fallout New Vegas style, since they made Fallout New Vegas, but not a huge, massive open world type game. They're making a similar first-person action RPG type of thing. They've described it to Game Informer as, I believe, having the length of about like a Knights of the Old Republic type of experience, rather than a hundreds of hours, you know, open-world Bethesda type of experience. And surprisingly, this game is going to be available as a part of Xbox Game Pass at launch, and they gave us a release date finally, October 25th, which was really cool for me to hear. We didn't really get much information about the game in terms of, you know, how it's played, gameplay, the mechanics of it. So I would refer you to Game Informer's coverage of the Outer Worlds if you want more information on what the gameplay is going to be like. But that was cool to get that release date, and really incredible to consider that their Game Pass subscription is $9.99 a month, and this game is going to be a part of that. That if you're subscribing to that, you can cancel that subscription anytime as well. You can get that game and play it, and if you can play through it in 1 month, then you're only out $10 to get this brand new AAA type of experience. Let's see here, moving down, we saw Bleeding Edge, a 4v4 game, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, a sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, Minecraft Dungeons, looks like a top-down Diablo style game, but with Minecraft aesthetics, if you want that. We were told we were going to get more Jedi Fallen Order with this event, and technically we did, but there was even some footage footage from the EA Play event, and the other footage that was shown was all kind of like story cinematic type stuff, if I remember correctly. So I really didn't get any new insight there, which is a little disappointing. Something called the Blair Witch game. I don't know what that's about. Also available with Game Pass. Cyberpunk 2077 made another appearance, and this time, shockingly, at the end of the trailer, it was revealed that Keanu Reeves is involved some way in this game. Like, in motion capture, his likeness is being used, and then he was brought on the stage to present a release date for Cyberpunk 2077 of April 16th, 2020. April 16th, 2020. So I would have liked more gameplay on that one. That would have been another one to get a nice deep dive on, especially since that's not a crazy distance away, but maybe sometime in the fall we'll get more on that game. We got a little bit of the Battletoads game, which wasn't really for me. One game that did catch my interest, it looks like a small indie title, is called RPG Time: The Legend of Right, which looks like basically an RPG that you play as though you are, kind of rifling through some kid's notebook and his sketch notebook, where he's made all these dungeons for an RPG, like a paper and pencil RPG that he's running or he's creating for his friends, or that he aspires to design for a PC or something like that, but you're basically playing through his sketchbook as a sketch character, and it's hard to describe. I would just recommend checking out the trailer. Again, it's called RPG Time: The Legend of Right, and that's WRIGHT, I believe. I'm really curious to learn more about that game because it could potentially be right up my alley. Then we got a sizzle reel for the ID at Xbox games, which there was just too many there to look up right now, but it gives me some exciting homework to do later on this week as I'm catching up on all the news from E3 to see if there might be some little gem of a game that was featured in that sizzle reel that will turn out to be something that's very interesting to me. That's going to be featured more on Monday's Inside Xbox at 3 p.m. Pacific, and so I think you could probably go to xbox.com or their YouTube channel to get more information about that. I certainly plan to do that as soon as I have time. Let's see here. Then they talked about their launch of the Xbox Game Pass for PC, which is also $10 a month. They showed a sizzle reel of games for that and said that there would be 100 high-quality PC games for that subscription service by August, which was, wow, I mean, that's a lot of games. And then they also introduced the Ultimate Game Pass, which gives you the Game Pass for Xbox One, PC, and it gives you Xbox Live Gold, all for $15 a month, which if you want that whole package, that's a pretty good deal. They also featured a trailer for Wasteland 3. I am currently just a few hours into Wasteland 2. It's on my bucket list to finish. I have been enjoying my time with it, but right now for me, there's just always something else that I want to play more than Wasteland 2. But it was cool to see that they, since they've acquired In Exile, that Wasteland 3 is in development. There was no indication that it was going to be exclusive, and I'm going to come back to that thought in just a minute, but it is going to be available with Game Pass at launch. So, man, I mean, there is title after title. There's the titles I've gone through here that I think I forgot to mention are going to be launching as part of Game Pass. That's really surprising to me. They announced their purchase of Double Fine Studios, which is run by Tim Schafer, who's known for like Psychonauts, and he played a Psychonauts 2 trailer, if that interests you. Then there was a bunch of kind of smaller games, which I won't go through. Gears 5 they talked about. That's coming September 10th. That's not really a game for me, but that is worth noting. I really wish we would have gotten some like more gameplay type footage, although I think it's ID at Xbox. If you check their YouTube channel, Xbox is planning on giving some real gameplay footage of that later on this week. And that's just the first hour. We had 40 more minutes in this thing. It was like an hour and 45 minutes, I want to say. They showed off a new Elite controller for people that are into being pro gamers and really precise controlling, and that's not going to help me. There is no controller in the world that's going to make me a good enough gamer to play action games without some easy difficulties involved. They showed a trailer for Dying Light 2, and a Forza add-on. Excuse me. Let's see. More add-ons. They had a State of Decay 2 add-on. Phantasy Star Online. The next thing that really got my attention was Crossfire, which is not a game I'm interested in, but it was the first title that I saw in this whole conference that had a note that said first to console 2020. That was, I might have missed another one, but that was the only time I saw anything that indicated exclusivity to Xbox One. They showed a bunch, even like their State of Decay 2 trailer, that the Heartland trailer for the expansion did not, I don't think, say anything about being exclusive, and they were really trumpeting that in the last one or two E3 press conferences that they did. And so I'm just wondering what their tactic is, if they're trying to just keep people wondering, oh, do I need an Xbox for this? Are these all exclusive? I wonder if the number of exclusives that they actually do have is small enough that they're like, you know what, let's just not trumpet that, and people can just wonder which of these are exclusive. And and that's I think it would maybe show our weakness too much if we made a big deal out of the few titles that we have that are exclusive to our console. So that was really, that's the whole exclusives thing with Xbox is really interesting for me to track right now. Elden Ring was announced. That's going to interest Souls-like players. It's developed by From Software in partnership with George R.R. Martin. Not my kind of game, of course, but for those of you that are out there that will like it, there you go. Project xCloud caught my interest. This is going to be launching in October. I'm not sure if it's a beta or if it's a full launch, but anyway, this basically allows people to use their Xbox One as their own private server so that they can remotely play their games wherever they want, presumably on a laptop or on a tablet or something like that. They didn't go into details, but this is definitely part of their Play Anywhere initiative, which they really seem to lean into more this time, and that was really interesting to hear about. I'll look forward to hearing more information, about the idea of playing on an Xbox One games just using a controller and maybe a tablet somewhere, on the other side of the country, and how well that works out or not. Even actually just, in the living room, if you have a tablet and can put that on your lap in front of you or something while your family's using the main TV or something. Definitely interesting stuff there. Then they had a big next-gen reel, kind of like the reveal they did a year or two ago to talk about the Xbox One Scorpio, which became the Xbox One X, and they just had a bunch of talking head kind of developers and stuff describing what the virtues were that they held dear as they were creating this new version of the Xbox One console. Very similar to that, they had a bunch of developers talking about their ideals in creating the new Xbox, which is called Project Scarlet. That's not going to be its official name, I'm sure, but Project Scarlet, it was described as a bigger leap, technologically speaking, than any console leap they've done before. It's going to feature a solid-state drive, which the PlayStation 5 has already been said to have as well. I don't know the techno-babble of all this stuff, so I really have no idea, based on what Sony has revealed about their next console and what Microsoft has revealed about their next console, if one of them stacks up higher than the other. But I do think it's interesting to note that Phil Spencer, in describing the Scarlet, said it's the most powerful and highest performance console we've ever designed. So just before that, he said the same team that created the world's most powerful console. So they've really been using that language, the world's most powerful console. They've really been playing that up a lot. And I would think that if they felt confident that this was also going to be the next world's most powerful console, that they would say that as well. But he's using slightly more conservative language by saying the most powerful and highest performance console we've ever designed. He also said that this console is the formation of our future in cloud, meaning that cloud technology, streaming technology, much like what Google Stadia was really trying to promote with their new console, it's definitely in the plans for Xbox. They wanted to make that clear at this press event as well. So, and then finally they finished with a trailer for the new Halo game, Halo Infinite, which is going to be a Scarlet launch title. Both Scarlet and Halo Infinite will be coming holiday 2020. So we still have about a year and a half to wait for for that. But that was, I'm sure, pretty cool news for some Xbox fans. And there's an Xbox sale running at xbox.com/E3/sale. If any of that got you excited about being an Xbox person, I'll probably go check out the sale, see if there's anything that a lowly Xbox 360 gamer like me can take advantage of. So let's go through my I went through my notes. Let's go through my jaded predictions and my unrealistic wishes. My first jaded prediction was that there would be no AAA exclusives with even alpha gameplay to show. And I think, you guys can check me if I'm wrong on this, I think that came true. The closest would be that they had, Gears 5 on display, and that would be like a AAA exclusive game, I assume, because they own that studio, and I think all the previous Gears games have been exclusive to Xbox consoles. But I don't think we saw gameplay. We saw in-engine stuff happening maybe, but we didn't see gameplay. So, yeah, sadly, there was just like no indication of true blue exclusives, that I ran into watching this entire press event. So please correct me if I missed something there, but unfortunately that seems to have come true. My second jaded prediction was that the show will largely be padded with goodwill gestures and promises for the future, with nothing happening out of the ordinary in the next 6 months. I don't know, maybe. Again, that one is even more up for debate. I want to say that it maybe came true. That said, my final thoughts, I'll talk about this. Xbox Game Pass really has my attention. They announced that Metro Exodus is now a part of Xbox Game Pass. And so the value of that, the value proposition there is, yeah, so I don't know. That's the jury's out on that one. My final jaded prediction was that there will be some kind of appearance by Nintendo on their stage. That didn't happen. My first wish was that I want to know what Obsidian is up to aside from the Outer Worlds, or get a big deep dive into the Outer Worlds with a release date before November 2019. Well, that partially came true. We didn't hear anything about what they're up to other than the Outer Worlds. Did not get a deep dive into the Outer Worlds, but we did get a release date before November 2019. It's coming October 25th, which means I'm going to be able to play that game during Extra Life. As long as it doesn't get terrible reviews, I'll probably test it out myself if I can before committing to a purchase. But man, if I end up enjoying that game like I think I will, you can look forward to maybe a good chunk of my Extra Life marathon this year being the Outer Worlds. My second wish was that we would get a first reveal of their new console, including a price point below $400 and a release window. Well, we didn't get a proper reveal of the new console because they're still calling it by its project name, and we certainly didn't get a price or we did get a release window, holiday 2020. So I'm going to say no, but that's certainly debatable. Let's see here. And then finally, not my last wish. I got a couple more. A new console. I wanted the new console, excuse me, would read original Xbox discs, or they will otherwise surprise me with their degree of backwards compatibility efforts. They really went hard on some backwards compatibility stuff in the past. I don't think they said anything about backwards compatibility this time. That was an unrealistic wish if ever there was one. Speaking of which, I wish that their Play Anywhere initiative will turn out to include PlayStation consoles, and that they would announce the Zero Exclusives revolution. No. But as I said before, they did lean into this Play Anywhere initiative more, projecting a future of players playing on any device that they want. Project xCloud again is coming in October, and I'm really interested to see what will be possible when that launches. And then my final wish, I think, yes, is that Nintendo would come on stage and announce that Mario Maker for Wii U and or other Wii U titles are coming to the Xbox One. So no. A reminder that, we shouldn't blow certain news items like the bit of partnership that happened with Xbox and Nintendo. Probably shouldn't blow those out of proportion. Of course, Nintendo has their event on Tuesday, and Microsoft could show up there in some way. That would be pretty interesting. Anyway, I talked about, when I was talking about the Google Stadia, or at least I titled that video when I talked about that, with a question mark asking the question, is this possibly the console for Christian geeks? And specifically in that context, I was thinking about Christian geeks who want to steward their finances well. You know, when we get wrapped up in all this hype and just in the normal flow of being a geek, that can tend to involve spending a lot of money. And so we want to really try to be responsible with our finances so our resources can be freed up as much as possible to be generous and helpful to others. And because of like the nature of what I do in my work, I tend to be more, I want to say, closer to an early adopter than I ever used to be before I started doing this kind of work. If I wasn't doing this kind of work, I would be a late adopter. That's just kind of how I was raised, and I'm sure that's how I would continue to be if I wasn't doing this. But I'm guessing that a number of you maybe are late adopters and are wisely considering your individual situation, are waiting, each time a new generation of consoles is introduced, for the prices to go down, for more games to be available. And for that crowd, I want to suggest that, the right now the Xbox One might be a really good purchase for those who are ready to get, to upgrade their gaming console in their house, but want to do that responsibly and conservatively in terms of their spending. Right now, this Game Pass service looks to have an extraordinary value for anyone that's coming late to the party right now for this generation of gaming, particularly if you have more than one gamer in your household, because that way, for the price of one Game Pass, one person can take advantage of the types of games they want to play, and another gamer in the same house can also take advantage of a ton of games that maybe the first gamer won't like, but the second gamer or the third gamer, if you have three different gamers with three wildly different tastes in games, that live under the same roof, this Game Pass could just be a phenomenal value that you could split 3 ways or 4 ways or whatever you want, and it's a library that you can browse in advance. I just went to the website to check on this, and it seems to just be growing rather than having titles swapped in and out temporarily each month as the PlayStation 4 PlayStation Plus games program does each month. So with PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Plus games, you don't know in advance of the next month what is going to be available. And while that's also true of the Game Pass system, and unless they announce something in advance, there's still this vast library that just keeps building and building and building of other games that they've added to this that are all immediately available as soon as you join that service. So this could really be a great way for the Christian who wants to be responsible with his finances to upgrade their video gaming in their household. So anyway, take that into consideration. Be sure to weigh all the options, because of course if you get a PlayStation 4 now, there are a ton of games out there in the wild in like GameStop stores and other used places that you could also get for really cheap. So I'm not saying it's definitely the best value compared to PlayStation 4, but I highly recommend considering it if that describes your situation. All right, that's it for now. Stay tuned for my reactions to the Bethesda conference. If I have time, I'll get those up tonight, or if not, then very soon tomorrow, I think. And I'm going to be rolling out a bunch of more reactions to all kinds of other conferences and events and video game news bits throughout this entire week, so please stick around for that. Also, don't forget to check out Spirit Blade Legacy Edition, our free feature-length audio drama that you can listen to for free right now at youtube.com/ChristianGeekCentral. All right, thanks a lot. Bye-bye. I've created some new tiers for our Patreon. On top of many of our original perks, I've added Discord live events, spoiler chat videos, and more. You can get all the info at patreon.com/SpiritBladeProductions.